Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new episode on the Land Rover Discovery. So as I said in the last episode, we managed to get the body off, and that was great because it's now going to give us much more access to all the things we need to take off to swap over onto the engine that we've taken out of the Jag. So in this episode, what we're going to look at doing is stripping down the Jag engine, stripping down all of the Land Rover engine, all the bits off of that, seeing what we need to swap over, giving that one a bit of a service and a bit of some love, so things like the cam belt, bits and pieces like that. And then we're going to look at, hopefully, by the end of this episode, getting that Jaguar engine mounted back into the body, and then we can look at, in the next episode, or all being well, maybe in this episode, we'll see how we get on, then we can look at putting the body back on. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is get cracking with starting to strip these things down. So we've now come to a point with the engine on the Jag. We've stripped it all down as best we can for the minute. We're waiting on a few parts for this, so I'm going to park this for the moment and leave that, and then I'm going to turn my attention to starting to disassemble the bits off the body and that engine while we wait for the bits for this to turn up. So what I'm going to look at doing first is just disassembling all the bits off of the front here, just so that I can pull all of this rad pack out in one go, and then hopefully that'll give me quite good access to the front of the engine here, and then we can sort of take it from there, see what sort of access we've got, and then we'll probably look at taking some bits off the transmission and so on, and then we can look at what we're going to do next. So yeah, we'll get started with getting these bits out. So we've now managed to move all the rad pack assembly out of the way, and we're just taking some more of the hoses out of the way. So what I'm going to do now is just pop to the back of the engine, start taking things off like the exhaust. So we've now undone loads and loads more bits on the car. We've managed to get the crossover pipe out of the way, get the down pipes undone, start taking some of the bell housing bolts out. We've also gone ahead and disconnected the rear prop shaft and also the prop shaft that goes to the front diff and the transfer box. So we've managed to sort that out. I have gone ahead and just put this strap on here and also the chain up here. So the plan is that I can sort of lift it out level where possible. We've also gone ahead and disconnected a load of the gearbox pipes along here, so things like the fuel pipes, that run along the gearbox. So we've done that, some sensors down here, and then some exhaust and DPF sensors and so on, the pressure pipes and stuff like that. We've disconnected all of that, and then just at the front, at the bottom there, we've gone ahead and just disconnected some of those little coolers on the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is just see if I can gently lift it up. I've also disconnected the two nuts for the engine mounts either side, and then just the bottom mount for the transmission here. So I'm just gently going to work my way up and just see if I can start to lift this out. So now that we've got all the engine and transmission out, I've just popped it on a couple of used tyres just to stop any damage on the underside. I've still got most of the tension on with the crane, and I'm just going to do very similar to what we've done with the Jag engine, which is just to start stripping this thing down. So I've now just rested the engine on an oil drum, well, the transmission, just so that I can now access the sump, because I need to take the sump off, because that's got to be swapped over as well. And I also need to probably try and loosen the crank or take the crank out somehow to undo the torque converter. So guys, we have confirmed the death of the Land Rover. Don't know if you can quite make it out there, but just up in there, that webbing on the crank has snapped. And I did find a chunk of metal, which I'm not sure what I've done with now. So yeah, it was good to see that we were right on the diagnosis. So we can now get to 2 of the torque converter bolts. And I've just got the fun and excitement of trying to get to the other 2. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do next. Get to those 2 bolts up there, undo those, undo the other 2, then hopefully I can pull the box off. Right, so I've now swapped the engines over on the engine crane, so I've now got the Jaguar engine, and what I'm going to start by doing is just mounting it back to the transmission. There may be a few bits that we have to take back off, put back on, but I've got so many bits everywhere at the minute, I'm just trying to get to a point where I'm starting to put stuff back on, so it actually feels like I'm achieving something. So yeah, I'm going to start by jacking that up and popping that on here. So I've just chopped the engine back down onto some tyres, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all of these vacuum lines over. They may well be the same between the two, but I just want to swap these over so I don't put it in the car and then find that I'm missing a vacuum line somewhere or along the lines. So I've also got the engine wiring loom over here, so I'm going to start plugging all of that lot in, because I'm mindful the more and more components that I put on in a minute, I'm going to be taking stuff back off because I can't get the loom in there. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next, try and get all of that stuff in there. Once I've done all of that and those bits, I'm going to start having a real good clear up and a sort out, and then that will just allow me to sort of get to the next stage. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today's video, guys. As you can see, we've made really good progress. We've managed to get a lot of the stuff swapped off of the, or taken off the Jaguar engine, taken off the broken Land Rover engine, and then put onto the Jag engine, and starting to put things like the transmission and all that stuff back on there. I did go ahead and put all of the vacuum lines in place. Some of them still need plugging in where we've got some other bits missing, and also the wiring loom, we've managed to get the vast majority of that sort of laid out roughly in place, and where possible we've plugged it in. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please consider subscribing to the channel, and in the next one what I'm hopefully going to do is the bits will turn up that we're waiting on, and we can finish off getting this thing ready to go back into the body, or back onto the chassis, sorry, and then we can look at putting the body back on. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.